Good morning, honorable delegates, your excellencies, distinguished guests. My name is Yapoka from SADC Parliamentary Forum. Kindly allow me to make some housekeeping announcements. First and foremost, I wish to advise that the proceedings will be conducted in the 3 official languages of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, namely English, French, and Portuguese. Please select the language of your choice under the provision for interpretation and then proceed to mute original language. Also note that when the video interludes are played, in order for you to hear the sound, you may have to unmute original audio. Delegates and guests are also advised that the proceedings will be live, they'll be recorded, and in this regard, the expected parliamentary decorum will be appreciated. I also wish to advise that only delegates and invited guests are required to be on video. In this regard, support staff, members of the media are requested to turn off their videos. All delegates must remain muted unless required to speak. For the purpose of identification, it would be appreciated if in front of your name, you put the name of your country or organization. Thank you so much.
May you all rise for the singing of the national anthems of the Republic of Botswana, along with those of SADC and the African Union. Thank you. Let us be seated. His Excellency, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana and Guest of Honor. Acting SADC Parliamentary Forum President, Dr. Fiarobona Loverina Celestian, Member of Parliament from the Republic of Madagascar. Honorable Pandu Tombola Chaha Skelamani, Member of Parliament, Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana and host for the 49th Plenary Assembly. Honorable Professor Peter H. Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia and host for the SADC Parliamentary Forum headquarters. Honorable speakers and presiding officers of the national parliaments and heads of delegations. Honorable Dr. Jago Wada Jeremiah Odok, member of the East African Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Ngoga. Honorable Anne-Marie Mbilambangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus. Honorable Musi Kafela, Member of Parliament and Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, other ministers, honorable ministers in government of Botswana. Honorable Mabuse Pule, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana. Honorable Dumelan Salishando, Member of Parliament, Leader of the Opposition in the National Assembly of the Republic of Botswana. Honorable members of the Parliament of Botswana. Honorable members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Khosu Puso Gaborone, and Chairman of the Nkloyadi Khosi, Ms. Mogi Mbakani, Chairperson of the Association of Former Members of Parliament. His Worship Father Mapongo, Mayor of Gaborone. Ms. Boemo Sekoma, Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. His Excellency Dr. Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Her Excellency Paulina Mbala Elago, Executive Secretary, Southern African Customs Union. His Excellency Mr. Domingos Estavao Fernandez, High Commissioner of the Republic of Mozambique and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. Your Excellencies, representatives of the Diplomatic Corps and representatives of regional and international organizations, Ms. Emma Piluitezi, Acting Permanent Secretary to the President in the Government of Botswana, Ms. Barbara Ditapo, Clerk of the National Assembly of Botswana and Chairperson of the SADC Parliamentary Forum Committee of Clerks, Clerks and Secretaries General of SADC National Parliaments, Permanent Secretaries in the Government of Botswana, distinguished cooperating partners, distinguished invited observers and guests, staff of the National Assembly of Botswana and national parliaments, staff of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Good morning and welcome to the 49th Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum Plenary Assembly. My name is Benicia Chingafane, Director of Multilateral Affairs at the Ministry of International Affairs and Cooperation. I will be your Director of Ceremonies for this morning. A quick run through the program shows that we will commence with credentials of delegates, followed by speeches with short entertainment interludes, wherein you'll be given a taste of Botswana. We thought that since COVID-19 denied us the pleasure of welcoming you in person, we should at least share what we have to offer, with the hope that you will have the opportunity to visit in the near future and enjoy our warm hospitality. After His Excellency President Masisi's statement, we will break for lunch and reconvene in the afternoon for the Plenary Assembly Symposium. Before we proceed, I would like to request that all speakers kindly abide by the time set for statements. Without further ado, I would now call upon the SADC Parliamentary Forum Secretary General, Ms. Boemo Sekoma, who will present the delegates' credentials. Ms. Boemo, please. Ms. Sekoma, you have the floor.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Allow me to observe the protocol that has been established and recognize His Excellency, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Keabetswe Masisi, the President of the Republic of Botswana and our guest of honor. Honorable Christoph Mboso Nkodia Mpwanga, SADC Parliamentary Forum President and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Honorable Dr. Fierovana Lovanirina Celestine, the SADC Parliamentary Forum Vice President. Honorable Pandu Tombola Chaha Skelamani, Member of Parliament, Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana, and our host for the 49th Plenary Assembly Session. Honorable Professor Peter H. Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia and host of the SADC Parliamentary Forum headquarters. The Right Honorable Speaker, Sipiri Motanyani, Speaker of the National Assembly of Lesotho. Honorable Speakers and presiding officers of national parliaments and heads of delegations, Honorable Dr. Jago Warder Jeremiah Odok, Member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Ngoga, Honorable Anne-Marie Mbilambangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Musi Kafela, Member of Parliament, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, Honorable Cabinet Ministers here present in the government of Botswana, Honorable Mabuse Pule, Member of Parliament, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana, Honorable Dumelang Salishando, Member of Parliament, Leader of the Opposition in the National Assembly of Botswana, Honorable Members of Parliament of Botswana, Honorable Members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Khosi Puso Gaborone, and Chairman of Ntlo ya Dikgosi, Ms. Mogi Mbakanyi, Chairperson of the Association of Former Members of Parliament, His Worship, Father Mapongo, Mayor of Gaborone, His Excellency, Dr. Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Her Excellency, Paulina Mbala Elago, Executive Secretary, Southern Africa Customs Union, His Excellency, Mr. Domingos Estaval Fernandos, High Commissioner of the Republic of Mozambique and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps and representatives of regional and international organizations, Ms. Emma Bilui-Tletsi, Acting Permanent Secretary to the President in the Government of Botswana, Ms. Barbara Ditapo, Clerk of the National Assembly of Botswana and Chairperson of the SADC Parliamentary Forum Committee of Clerks and Secretaries General, Clerk and Secretary Generals of SADC National Parliaments, Permanent Secretaries in the Government of Botswana, distinguished cooperating partners, distinguished invited observers and guests, staff of the National Assembly of Botswana and SADC National Parliaments, staff of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, members of the media, good morning, bon dia, bonjour. I'm delighted to introduce delegates to this 49th Plenary Assembly Session of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum, SADC-PF. I'd like to start by congratulating the host, the National Assembly of Botswana, led by Honorable Pandu Tombola Chaha Skelemani, for successfully hosting this plenary assembly session. We are indeed enjoying the hospitality and dedication of the staff and people of Botswana, albeit virtually. The hosting of this plenary, in spite of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which has drastically altered the way we do things, demonstrates the resilience of the forum as supported by all member parliaments, and embodies its determination and commitment to promoting interparliamentary cooperation and diplomacy. Additionally, the sheer number and diversity of delegates to this plenary shows that we are making strides in the right direction. Your Excellency, honorable speakers, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the third plenary assembly session of the forum, which is being held virtually due to disruptions brought about by COVID-19. The first two plenary assemblies, held under similar conditions, took place last year. We are grateful for the dedication of member parliaments in the face of current trying times. Whereas the pandemic has tried to distance us, technology has bonded us. I feel that we are actually closer and stronger. Indeed, although the pandemic continues to threaten interparliamentary cooperation and parliamentary democracy, member parliaments remain undeterred. It is thus with pride that we meet for the 49th Plenary Assembly session as we brace for the 50th Plenary Assembly that will mark our Golden Jubilee. Before I introduce our esteemed delegates, I beg your indulgence, Your Excellency, to highlight some key achievements of our forum since the last plenary assembly. These achievements, in my view, cement regional cooperation between member parliaments. As we meet, two model laws are nearing finalization. They are the SADC Model Law on Gender-Based Violence and the SADC Model Law on Public Financial Management. It is our fervent hope that these legislative instruments will continue to contribute to the legal ecosystem of the SADC region and reinforce good governance, accountability, and transparency, which are the hallmarks of parliamentary activity. Your Excellency, honorable speakers, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, technology has become an essential part of the day-to-day life of SADC citizens. The forum has accordingly embarked in the development of the SADC Model Law on the digital economy to guide member states into the future. With COVID-19 likely to have a continuing impact on the lives of SADC consumers, the SADC Model Law will ensure that the rights of consumers are protected within the digital economy, in which they will perform multiple transactions online. It is envisaged also that these model laws and other initiatives by the forum will further cement regional integration and consolidate the SADC identity, whereby the belief of shared values, cultures, and norms strengthen the bonds of solidarity and cooperation. In this respect, the forum is poised to act as an enabler of socio-economic change through concerted actions achieved through inclusive participation of all SADC member states. Your Excellency, similarly, the forum strives to uphold socio-economic inclusion of all segments of the SADC population without discrimination, and assist parliaments enact laws that are inclusive, purposeful, and responsive to the needs of the SADC citizenry. As part of our vision to act as the flag bearer of democratization in our region, as a forum, we pledge to honor democracy in all its facets that are consonant with parliamentary activism. At the same time, the forum will continue collaborating with national parliaments in spearheading the domestication of international and regional norms, such as the Sustainable Development Goals, including SDG 3 on good health and well-being, commitments on universal health coverage, as well as the political declaration on HIV and AIDS of 2021. This declaration calls for a rights-based approach to health. The impetus for domestication within a democratic framework is likely to be crucial in the coming decades for the SADC region to meet its multiple health challenges, with HIV and COVID-19 constituting significant budgetary items that will call for continuous parliamentary appropriation of resources and oversight. Your Excellency, honorable speakers, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the various capacity building initiatives conducted by the forum have responded to the needs of progressive domestication of norms and have mirrored the culture of the forum, which is to promote human rights and democratization. The SADC Parliamentary Forum has indeed led the region on themes such as elections, trade, natural resources governance, gender equality, women empowerment, budget analysis, ICTs, and human resources, among others. These have enhanced parliamentary processes while serving to strengthen the SADC region as a hub of parliamentary excellence. Your Excellency, the Forum remains committed to deepening regional parliamentary integration and to build the capacity of its member parliaments to face emerging challenges. It is pleasing to note that the strategic objectives of the Forum, which were approved by the 43rd Plenary Assembly session, have been advanced and implemented. With that said, please permit me now to introduce our esteemed delegations to the 49th Plenary Assembly session. I wish to request the delegates to kindly wave their hands for the benefit of our guest of honor, as I call their country. The National Assembly of Angola, a delegation of 6 members, led by Honorable Fernando da Piedade Dias dos Santos, Speaker of the National Assembly of Angola. Thank you, you are welcome. The Parliament of Botswana, our gracious host, a delegation of 6 members, led by Honorable Pandu Dombola Chaha Skelamani, Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana. The Parliament of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a delegation of 11 members, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly and the President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Honorable Christophe Mboso Nkodia Pwanga. The Parliament of the Kingdom of Lesotho, a delegation of 7 members, led by the Right Honorable Sipiri Mutanyani, Speaker of the National Assembly. The Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini, a delegation of 8 members, led by Honorable Petrus Mavimbela, Speaker of the National Assembly. The Parliament of Madagascar, a delegation of 13 members, led by the Honorable Dr. Fierovana Lovanirina Celestin, Member of Parliament. The Parliament of Malawi, a delegation of 8 members, led by the Right Honorable Catherine Gotani Hara, Speaker of Parliament. The Parliament of Mauritius, a delegation of 5 members, led by the Honorable Sorojdev Pokie, Speaker of the National Assembly. The National Assembly of Mozambique, a delegation of 5 members, led by Honorable Esperanza Lorianda Francisco Nguyen Bayash, Speaker of the National Assembly. Happy independence to you, Mozambique. The National Assembly of Namibia, a delegation of 6 members, led by Honorable Professor Peter H. Kashavivi, Member of Parliament, Speaker of the National Assembly, and host of the SADC Parliamentary Forum headquarters. The National Assembly of Seychelles, a delegation of 6 members, led by the Honorable Roger Massien, Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you. You are most welcome, Honorable Speaker. The Parliament of South Africa, a delegation of 6 members, led by Honorable Thandi Modise, Speaker of the Parliament. The Parliament of the Republic of Zimbabwe, a delegation of 6 members, led by Honorable Advocate Jacob Francis Nzwida-Milimo Mudenda, Speaker of the National Assembly. The parliaments of the United Republic of Tanzania and Zambia send apologies. The SADC Parliamentary Forum Secretariat, a delegation of 10 staff members led by the Secretary General. Last but not least, all the staff from the National Assembly of Botswana here present and SADC national parliaments. Your Excellency, honorable speakers, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we also have invited resource persons, observers and partners. And these are His Excellency Dr. Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, Dr. Kotula Sibanda, Director, Directorate of Industrial Development and Trade, representing the Executive Secretary of SADC, Her Excellency Paulina Mbala Elago, Executive Secretary of the Southern African Customs Union, Ms. Eva Busvik, the Counselor, Program Manager, Regional Development Cooperation Program, Trade and Regional Economic Integration, Embassy of Sweden, Lusaka, Ms. Angela Machanesa, Regional Head of Influencing and Strategic Communications, Plan International Incorporation, Middle East, Eastern and Southern Africa, based in Nairobi, Kenya. Dr. Adani Gabelmeskel, Project Executive Manager for Peace, Security, Governance and Cooperation for the Enhancement of SADC Regional Economic Integration. Ms. Cynthia Lungu, Designated Delegate from UNAIDS Regional Support Team, Eastern and Southern Africa. Ms. Rosé Extasadi, the Executive Director of SAFAIDS. Mr. Depros Moshena, Executive Director for Southern and Eastern Africa, Amnesty International. Professor Adibayo Olokushi, International IDEA. Mr. Anes Sudera, Attorney, Designated Representative, Center for Applied Legal Studies, University of Witwatersrand. Ms. Julie Middleton for the Consortium of Action Aid International. Mr. Stanley Nyamahindi, the Chief Executive Officer of the SADC Lawyers Association. Your Excellency and distinguished delegates, may I conclude my statement by thanking the government and the National Assembly of the Republic of Botswana through the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly for graciously hosting the 49th Plenary Assembly session. I wish all the distinguished delegates fruitful deliberations. I thank you. Muito obrigada. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Master Cormac. I see that you are very well placed in terms of languages. You speak all of them. Thank you so much. It's always very good to know who you're interacting with. So we do thank you for introducing the delegates and also taking us through a brief in terms of what we have done as a parliamentary forum and where we are going towards, and especially when we go to talk about international and regional integration. We will now take a short break for a cultural performance. The first one we're going to see is the Hosana dance. This is a dance that originates from the Kalanga tribe, which is based in the northern part of the country. It is a dance that is used to invoke rain. It is said that when there's a drought or something, the elders will call upon the leader of the group to do a dance to try and see how they can get rain in the country. And you know, as Botswana, we are a country that is much in need of rain, so we do tend to appreciate this dance. Hosana is it's an ancestral dance, and it's not for everybody. Not everybody can do the dance. Only certain people are allowed to do the dance or are called upon to do the dance. So it's sort of a calling, if you will. And you will note that the dancers wear black skirts, beads, and white shirts. So I will allow my colleagues to please allow us to enjoy this brief interlude of the Hosana dance from the north. I'm from the north, but unless I do not know how to do it, I always marvel at the dancers. They always seem very agile and light on their feet as they dance. Thank you, Hosana. Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency the President, invited guests, we will now hear a statement of solidarity by a member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, Dr. Jagowoda Jeremiah Odok. Honorable Odok is representing the speaker who unfortunately could not be here with us, the Right Honorable Martin Ngoga. Yeah, Honorable Odok, the floor is yours, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Dr. Mokwesti Eric Kabotsi Masisi, President of Republic of Botswana and guest of honor. Honorable Christophe Mbusu Nkudia Wanga, SADC Parliamentary Forum President and Speaker of National Assembly of Democratic Republic of Congo. Honorable Dr. Farovana Lovanirna Celestian, SADC Parliamentary Forum Vice President. Honorable Fandu Tombola Chaha Iskelmani, Member of Parliament, Speaker of National Assembly of Botswana and host for the 49th Plenary Assembly. Honorable Professor Peter H. Katijavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia and host of the SADC Parliamentary Forum headquarters. Right Honorable Speaker Seferi Mutanjani, Speaker of National Assembly of Lesotho. Honorable Speaker and presiding officers of National Parliament and heads of delegations, Honorable Marie Malambunugu, Chairperson of the Regional Women Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Mosi Kagafila, Member of Parliament, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, and other honorable ministers in the government of Botswana, Honorable Mabusi Pole, Member of Parliament, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana, Honorable Demalanga Selishandu, Member of Parliament, Leader of Opposition in the National Assembly of Botswana, Honorable Member of Parliament of Botswana, Honorable Members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Kagusi Pusu Gaborone and Chairperson of Interlude, Dikoksi, Ms. Mugi Mabakeni, Chairperson of the Association of Former Members of Parliament, His Worship Father Mafungu, Mayor of Gaborone, good morning, bonjour, habari za subuhi. I bring you warm greetings from the Right Honorable Nguga Martin, Speaker of East Africa Legislative Assembly, who due to other exigencies of work is enabled to attend this August virtual plenary assembly session. I wish to convey his message of solidarity and appreciation of the excellent cooperation between East Africa Legislative Assembly and SADC Parliamentary Forum. At the outset, I congratulate Right Honorable Fandu Tombola Chaha Iskilmani, Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana, the Parliament and the people of Botswana for virtually hosting this plenary session. In the same spirit, I wish to extend my deep appreciation to Right Honorable Christopher Mbusu, President of SADC Parliamentary Forum and Speaker of the National Assembly of Democratic Republic of Congo, the entire membership of SADC Parliamentary Forum for the invitation to this important event. I present to you all the compliments of my colleagues, members of East Africa Legislative Assembly. I wish to add that I'm equally impressed by the selection of the theme of the 49th plenary session on leveraging the African Continental Free Trade Area for post-COVID economic recovery in Southern Africa, the role of SADC Parliamentary Forum and national parliaments. The theme is discussed at the hard time of COVID-19 pandemic, which has not spared our Africa continent. It's with sadness that I pay tribute to members of parliament and African people who had lost their lives. With continued vigilance and solidarity, we shall overcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I have specifically requested to share my thoughts on the role of parliaments in post-COVID-19 economic recovery, taking into account and leveraging of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, as well as the ongoing transformation of SADC Parliamentary Forum into a fully fledged regional parliament. It's my great pleasure to share the following ideas with you. The recent concluded African Continental Free Trade Area offers a golden opportunity to SADC countries and Africa as a whole to quickly recover from economic distress that has been caused to most African countries. As the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa estimates that the African Continental Free Trade Area is set to become the largest free trade area in the global economy, covering markets of 1 billion people with a combined GDP of United States $2.5 trillion, expected to reach United States 29 trillion by 2050. It is thus undoubted that the African Continental Free Trade Area provides an excellent policy framework for Africa to build inclusive and resilient economies post-COVID-19. However, it is one thing to develop a policy framework. Implementation of adequate measures to fully exploit its potential is another thing. And this is where the role of parliaments at national and regional levels is critical. As a representative of people, parliaments should be at the forefront to advocate for ratification, domestication, and implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. They should be able to voice the concerns of the people, address them, and advocate for prioritization of life, impactful measures aligned with the expectation of the people. Drawing lessons from the achievement already recorded at our respective regional economic communities, RECs, but also the bottleneck which has been prevented us from bringing the benefits of regional integration to meet legitimate expectation of our people. Parliaments are best to enact the required pieces of legislation to operate the necessary reforms. These reforms should include enhanced facilitation and border management procedure to lower trade costs and avoid border closing, which has disproportionately hit the poor. Removal of many non-tariff barriers, including those expressed through divergent products standards, mainly sanitary and phytosanitary standards. Ensuring that critical medical food samples, input, and intermediate goods and other priority products that can provide a natural ladder for diversification are included in trade liberalization and facilitation under the African Continental Free Trade Area. An improvement in digital policy, regulation, and infrastructure to fill the existing gaps, among others. In this respect, East Africa Legislative Assembly would be pleased to share its experience with the SADC Parliamentary Forum in some of the areas where regional legislation has been successfully at the East Africa community level, such as unifying custom management, and this can be found in the East Africa Community Custom Management Act 2004, including simplified trade regimes to facilitate small-scale cross-border trade in products originating from within the region and a single custom territory. Elimination of non-tariff barriers, and that's very clear in the ESC Elimination of Non-Tariff Barriers Act 2017, establishment of one-stop border post. This is in the ESC One-Stop Border Post Act 2017, and harmonized vehicle axle control. It's also another bill, which is an ESC Vehicle Axle Control Bill 2017, all of which contribute towards reducing delay at border posts and speed up clearing, and movement of goods. Ladies and gentlemen, from our experience in ESC, we have realized that infrastructural development is crucial to opening up of region to tap into the right market for goods, services, and investment opportunities. The East Africa community has thus developed community-wide roads and railways network and established the civil aviation safety and security, Oversight Agency, CASUA, to enhance air safety and facilitate free movement of goods, services, people, and investment across the region. Similar initiatives should be undertaken to enhance the continental level for the opportunity to fully benefit the African Continental Free Trade Area. Ladies and gentlemen, the other important role of Parliament is aligned with the crucial oversight function. Parliament should stand ready to oversee the implementation of the government commitment under the African Continental Free Trade Area to avoid unnecessary delay due to bureaucracy, guarantee awareness and participation of the private sector, and ensure that it benefits rich ordinary citizens and the poor. Ladies and gentlemen, for the SADC Parliamentary Forum to play the above-mentioned role effectively, there is need to fast-track the process of its transformation into a fully fledged parliament with legislative powers. It's indeed important to the regional integration process to have a legislative arm with powers to pass legislation aimed at uplifting the living conditions of the people, placing them at the center of the integration process through their legitimate representative, as well as oversight power to ensure effective implementation of regional policies, laws, projects, and programs, accountability and time for the money hardly raised from the taxpayer. East Africa Legislative Assembly fully support the transformation process of SADC Parliamentary Forum into a fully fledged regional legislature and avail itself to share its experience. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at the continental level, allow me to recall that the respective REC are building blocks for economic integration in Africa. The implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area marks a new step in Africa's march towards greater integration and unity. It comes with challenge for the regional parliaments such as East Africa Legislative Assembly and SADC Parliamentary Forum. How ready are we to work together to ensure that the COVID-19 economic recovery plans developed by our respective regional blocs are aligned with the potentials of the African Continental Free Trade Area? Are we ready to cooperation, establish the necessary synergy in overseeing how our respective governments will implement them? These are not questions, but rather invitation extended to SADC Parliamentary Forum to strengthen our existing interparliamentary engagement dialogue in respect of leveraging the African Continental Free Trade Area for post-COVID economic recovery. Jointly, we should be relentless addressing our common African challenges as we discharge our core mandate as Parliament towards legislation, oversight, and representation. Distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, once again, I thank you for the invitation extended to the East Africa Legislative Assembly to participate to this important discussion and wish you a successful meeting. I thank you for your kind attention. Merci beaucoup. Asante sana.
Thank you, Honorable Lodok. Thank you for sharing your experiences in your region. I think the honorable members of parliament were listening very attentively, especially when you talk to issues of the one-stop border shop and trade facilitation. I think it's very unfortunate that COVID struck when it did, because you would have been able to see one of our wonders in terms of taking a step towards that, in terms of building the Kazungula bridge, which encompasses some of the aspects that you spoke to. But hopefully once we find a cure, a vaccine that everybody has, then maybe you will have an opportunity to come and visit. Botswana and see some of the projects that we have embarked on with our partners and our neighboring countries. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce the chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Anne-Marie Mbilambangu, to deliver her statement. Madam Chairperson, please, you have the floor. I have been told that I speak really fast, so maybe I need to slow down a bit and invite the Honorable Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Anne-Marie Mbilambangu, to deliver her statement. Thank you.
Okay. Merci beaucoup pour la parole. J'ai l'honneur de m'adresser à cette auguste assemblée à l'occasion de la cérémonie d'ouverture officielle de la session virtuelle de la 49e Assemblée plénière. J'apporte les salutations maternelles de toutes les femmes parlementaires de la région de la SADC. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, permettez-moi d'ajouter ma voix pour exprimer mes plus profondes pensées à tous ceux qui ont perdu des êtres chers à cause de la pandémie de COVID-19. Je souhaite également embrasser fraternellement ceux qui ont combattu et gagné la lutte contre le coronavirus. Malgré tous les défis auxquels nous avons été confrontés cette année, individuellement et collectivement, il est réconfortant de constater que nous sommes néanmoins restés déterminés. Ce même esprit de résilience doit continuer à nous inspirer de l'espoir alors que nous envisageons de reconstruire nos sociétés et nos économies après la COVID. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, dans le cadre des efforts déployés par le monde pour lutter contre le coronavirus, la vaccination a été considérée comme la meilleure défense. Il est donc encourageant de constater que, selon l'OMS, au début du mois de juin, 51 des 53 pays africains avaient reçu des doses de vaccins, bien que seuls 48 aient commencé à les administrer. C'est louable, car mieux vaut prévenir que guérir, comme le dit les dictons. Cependant, les données disponibles montrent que le déploiement des vaccins a été lent dans la plupart des pays et que l'Afrique n'a toujours pas assez de vaccins. En tant que femmes de la région de la SADC, nous souhaitons donc ajouter notre voix à l'appel en faveur de la suppression totale du mur invisible qui entrave la capacité de l'Afrique à accéder aux vaccins. Il y va de soi que tant que nous n'aurons pas d'accès aux vaccins, personne, y compris ceux qui se font vacciner, ne sera en sécurité. Ce n'est que par une approche équitable que nous pourrons assurer l'éradication du virus dans le monde. Permettez-moi également d'exhorter nos gouvernements et les autres acteurs de la lutte contre le coronavirus de s'assurer que les campagnes de vaccination dans la SADC incluent délibérément les femmes et que celles-ci aient accès au vaccin. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, alors que nous nous réunissons sous les thèmes tirés parti de l'APCFETA pour la reprise économique post-Covid en Afrique australe, le rôle du Forum parlementaire de la SADC et des parlements nationaux, nous devrions examiner comment les femmes de la région de la SADC peuvent bénéficier du commerce et comment nous pouvons tirer parti du commerce pour faire progresser l'égalité des sexes. En effet, il est prouvé que le commerce peut accroître le rôle des femmes dans l'économie en garantissant des salaires plus élevés, de meilleures conditions de travail, un meilleur accès des femmes aux compétences et à l'éducation, ce qui renforce l'égalité de sexe. J'invite donc les parties prenantes à profiter pleinement de l'APCFTA pour développer les programmes visant à donner aux femmes les moyens de participer pleinement au commerce et à faire en sorte que les commerces améliorent les opportunités pour toutes et tous. Il est urgent que les États membres adoptent des réformes de la politique commerciale qui réduisent la discrimination à l'égard des femmes, notamment en abaissant des barrières tarifaires et non tarifaires sur les biens produits et consommés principalement par les femmes. Nous devons également aider les femmes commerçantes et les petites et moyennes entreprises à bénéficier des opportunités du marché grâce à un accès facile au financement du commerce et à des mesures de facilitation du commerce. L'APCFTA arrive donc à un temps voulu puisqu'il permettra non seulement d'identifier les obstacles à la participation des femmes au commerce, mais aussi de les éliminer. Au nom des femmes de la région, je suis encouragée par le fait que l'Assemblée plénière s'engagera avec les parties prenantes, y compris le secrétariat de l'APCFTA, la SADC et la SACU, sur la façon dont nous pouvons tirer parti de l'APCFTA dans la reprise économique post-Covid. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, en conséquence, j'implore le Forum parlementaire de la SADC, en collaboration avec le secrétariat de l'APCFTA et d'autres parties prenantes, de s'associer aux femmes de la SADC pour promouvoir des politiques commerciales favorables aux femmes et pour sensibiliser aux défis que les femmes doivent relever pour participer au commerce. Ces partenariats devraient également permettre de renforcer et d'élargir les capacités des femmes dans les domaines liés au commerce, d'accroître les possibilités pour les femmes d'acquérir des compétences et une éducation et d'améliorer leur accès au financement. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, il serait négligent de ma part de ne pas féliciter au nom du Caucus régional de femmes parlementaires et à mon nom personnel, le Forum parlementaire de la SADC pour les progrès réalisés en vue de l'élaboration de la loi type de la SADC sur les violences basées sur le genre, qui sera examinée lors de la 50e Assemblée plénière en novembre-décembre de cette année. En tant que femmes de la région de la SADC, nous partageons la conviction que cette loi type, c'est un autre ajout novateur à l'ensemble des instruments que le Forum a élaborés pour aider les États membres et les parties prenantes à combler les lacunes législatives et politiques en matière d'égalité des sexes dans notre pays. Alors que nous délibérons sur des questions d'intérêt régional et des préoccupations au cours de cette session de l'Assemblée plénière, je souhaite réitérer que nos discussions doivent aller au-delà de la recherche de solutions aux problèmes que la COVID-19 a apportés à la région de la SADC. Nous ne devons donc pas négliger les problèmes qui existaient déjà avant la pandémie de coronavirus et qui ont été exacerbés par la crise. Par exemple, le paludisme continue à tuer à un taux bien plus élevé que celui de la COVID. Et pourtant, il n'y a toujours pas de vaccin disponible pour le combattre pour les bons. La reprise après la COVID exige un niveau de coopération et de solidarité comme jamais auparavant. Il est donc impératif que nous comprenions que le problème de certains deviendront un problème pour tous s'ils ne sont pas traités dans le cadre d'une meilleure structure, d'un meilleur soutien, de meilleures lois. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, permettez-moi de féliciter le Forum parlementaire de la SADC et les parlements nationaux pour le travail remarquable qu'ils accomplissent afin de faciliter l'accès à des services complets de santé sexuelle et reproductive pour tous, sans discrimination dans les États membres par le biais du programme de santé et des droits sexuels et reproductifs. En effet, nous devrions envisager une région SADC post-COVID-19 où les femmes et les filles jouissent de la paix, des droits en matière de la santé sexuelle et reproductive et ont accès aux services, à l'éducation et à l'information et se voient garantir l'ensemble des droits conformément aux différents instruments régionaux et internationaux. Si les filles se voient refuser la possibilité de contribuer à la société, cela signifie qu'elles ne sont pas incluses dans le nombre de personnes qui contribuent au développement humain et à un PIB plus élevé. Ne créons pas une situation de perdant-perdant et profitons de cette opportunité de développement collectif qui nous est offerte. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, je souhaite également les appeler à continuer à être vigilants et à déployer des efforts concertés pour s'assurer que l'adaptation du plan régional pour l'égalité des sexes, à savoir les protocoles de la SADC sur le genre et le développement, ne subissent plus de revers. Continuons à tenir nos bras exécutifs et les dirigeants politiques responsables des engagements qu'ils ont pris dans le cadre de ces protocoles. Le Caucus régional de femmes parlementaires s'engage à rester votre fidèle compagnon à cet égard par une amplification soutenue des questions relatives aux femmes et aux filles jusqu'à ce que l'égalité des sexes devienne une réalité dans notre région. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, alors que nous réfléchissons à la SADC post-Covid et que nous cherchions à tirer parti de la CEFTA dans nos efforts de redressement, nous devons garder à l'esprit les observations du directeur général de l'Organisation mondiale du commerce, Roberto Azevedo, et du directeur général de la Banque mondiale, Marie Pangestu, qui ont noté ce qui suit. Si le commerce n'est pas à lui seul une panacée pour combler l'écart entre les sexes, il sera essentiel de mieux comprendre comment les femmes sont affectées par le commerce à mesure que les pays se développent et que l'économie mondiale se remet de la pandémie. Il existe des opportunités qui peuvent être saisies en rendant le commerce plus inclusif. Les gouvernements, les organisations internationales et les secteurs privés peuvent collectivement, par les biais d'initiatives complémentaires, créer les conditions pour que les femmes bénéficient du commerce au lieu d'être laissées pour compte. En effet, la seule façon de se relever de l'après-Covid est d'accélérer une croissance inclusive où les femmes prennent la place qui leur revient dans le commerce. J'ai dit et je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup, Madame. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. You touched on a whole lot of issues that are very topical, especially during this period of COVID, where we realized that there's a lot of GBV seem to be on the rise, and we need to find a way to improve our steps towards gender equality. Thank you, Madam. I would now like to call on our next address will be by the SADC Parliamentary Forum President and Speaker of the, no, there has been a change to the program, my apologies. The Acting SADC Parliamentary Forum President, Dr. Fiarovana Lovanirina Celestin, Member of Parliament from the Republic of Madagascar. Madam, you have the floor, please. Thank you. It's a monsieur. Ah, pardon. Sorry. You have the floor, sir. Je m'excuse.
Bienvenue à la 49e Assemblée plénière du Forum parlementaire de la SADC. Son Excellence Dr Kenneth Konda, ex-président de la Zambie, nous a quittés. Je vous demande 1 minute de silence en sa mémoire et vous demande de vous lever. Je vous remercie et vous demande de vous asseoir. Son Excellence Dr Mongwetsi Eric Kwabetche Masisi, président de la République du Botswana et invité d'honneur. Honorable Fandi Tombola Chaka Skelamani, hôte de la 49e Assemblée plénière et président de l'Assemblée nationale de la République du Botswana. Honorable professeur Peter Kachavivi, hôte du siège du Forum parlementaire de la SADC et président de l'Assemblée nationale de la Namibie. Honorable président de l'Assemblée nationale des parlements nationaux et chef de délégation. Honorable Dr Jago Oda Jeremia Odok, membre de l'Assemblée législative de l'Afrique de l'Est, représentant de l'honorable Martin Gonga. Honorable Anne-Marie Boulambangu, présidente du groupe régional des femmes parlementaires. Honorable Missy Ngafela, ministre de l'Investissement, du Commerce et de l'Industrie et autre ministre du gouvernement du Botswana. Honorable Mambuse Poul, vice-président de l'Assemblée nationale du Botswana. Honorable Dumelang Salesando, chef de l'opposition à l'Assemblée nationale du Botswana. Honorable député du Parlement du Botswana. Honorable membre du Forum parlementaire de la SADC. Gosi Piso Gaboron et président de Interlude Yodikozi. Madame Mongi Mbaikanyi, présidente de l'Association de l'ancien parlementaire. Son honneur, le père Mapongo, maire de Gaborone. Madame Boyemo Sekoma, secrétaire générale du Forum parlementaire de la SADC. Son Excellence Dr Wankele Mene, secrétaire général de la zone libre-échange continentale africaine. Son Excellence Paulina Mbala Elago, secrétaire exécutive de l'Union douanière de l'Afrique australe. Son Excellence Monsieur Domingo Estevao Fernandez, ambassadeur de la République de Mozambique et doyen du corps diplomatique. Vos Excellences, membres du corps diplomatique et représentants des organisations régionales et internationales. Madame Emma Pelotlese, secrétaire générale par intérim du président du gouvernement du Botswana. Madame Barbara Ditapo, secrétaire générale de l'Assemblée nationale du Botswana et présidente du comité des secrétaires généraux. Secrétaires généraux des parlements nationaux de la SADC. Secrétaires généraux du gouvernement du Botswana. Distingués partenaires coopérants. Distingués invités et observateurs. Cadres de l'Assemblée nationale de Botswana et les autres parlements nationaux. Cadres du Forum parlementaire de la SADC. Membres des médias. Honorables membres et distingués participants, bonjour, good morning. Cette auguste assemblée plénière se réunit virtuellement sous les auspices du Parlement du Botswana à Gaborone. Une était les restrictions au déplacement. En vigueur actuellement, nous serons rassemblés dans cette magnifique ville cosmopolite qui accueille aussi les sièges du secrétariat de la SADC. Je vous adresse mes salutations les plus sincères au nom du Forum parlementaire de la SADC et de l'Assemblée nationale de la République de Madagascar. C'est animé d'un sentiment de respect pour la fonction de j'ai été investi que je m'apprête à présider l'Assemblée plénière en tant que vice-président du Forum. La République de Madagascar, sous le leadership de son Excellence Andnirine Radjuel, président de la République, est tout aussi fier d'occuper ces postes de responsabilité pour la première fois dans l'histoire de la Forum parlementaire de la SADC. À cet égard, je remercie chaleureusement le président du Forum et mes collègues du comité exécutif pour leur accompagnement. Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République, honorable Président et chers collègues, honorables parlementaires et distingués invités, je me réjouis de vous faire part des avancées obtenues par le Forum dans la mise en œuvre de ses objectifs indiqués dans le plan stratégique 2019-2023 et que, d'année en année, le Forum atteint de nouveaux sommets en matière d'excellence parlementaire et renforcer la coopération et la diplomatie parlementaire. En effet, la promotion des droits de l'homme et les avancées en matière d'égalité des sexes représentent quelques exemples de progrès constants enregistrés au cours de la dernière année. De plus, le serment d'allégeance de parlementaires de la SADC constitue la concrétisation de l'engagement du Forum à promouvoir l'identité de la SADC parmi les États membres. Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République, honorables présidents et chers collègues, honorables parlementaires et distingués invités, s'agissant de la transformation du Forum en Parlement régional de la SADC, le sujet est à l'ordre du jour des prochains conseils des ministres et sommets des chefs d'État de la SADC qui se réuniront en août 2021. Notre équipe de lobbying composée de présidents des parlements de la région de la SADC est conduite par son Excellence M. Guidamililo Mudenda, président de l'Assemblée nationale de Zimbabwe, a déployé des efforts considérables pour obtenir l'adhésion de nos chefs d'État à la proposition de transformation. La mission de lobby a réussi à dissiper toute malentendu en explicitant que la proposition de transformation n'aura aucune incidence sur les systèmes juridiques nationaux des États membres. Il a été souligné de plus que la proposition de transformation n'entraînera pas d'obligations financières supplémentaires pour les États membres dans la mesure où le système de commission du Forum et les membres composants de l'Assemblée plénière resteront les mêmes. Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République, honorables présidents et chers collègues, honorables parlementaires et distingués invités, permettez-moi d'ajouter que la transformation de la Forum parlementaire de la SADC en Parlement régional est un objet qui se fonde uniquement sur la volonté de consolider les liens avec d'autres organes de la SADC et à renforcer la démocratie parlementaire dans notre région. La voix des parlementaires sera attendue sur des questions majeures, notamment l'annulation de la dette rendant possible une restructuration de l'économie, les changements climatiques, les investissements, etc., etc. Le Parlement de la SADC permettra aussi à la région d'être mieux représentée sur le plan africain, dans la mesure où la région de la SADC est la seule région d'Afrique qui ne dispose pas encore d'un parlement régional. Nous sommes convaincus que cela va changer en août 2021. J'ai saisi cette opportunité pour inviter solennellement cette auguste 49e Assemblée plénière et l'État de Botswana qui est l'hôte par l'entremise de son Excellence le Président Dr. Mongwetsi Masisi d'appuyer la proposition de transformation du Forum lors du prochain sommet de chefs et des gouvernements de la SADC. La région de la SADC attend ces changements pour renforcer et approfondir l'intégration interparlementaire. Je lance le même appel à d'autres délégations nationales ici présentes à être les porte-étendards de la mise en branle de cette proposition auprès de leur hiérarchie respective. Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République, honorables présidents et chers collègues, honorables parlementaires, distingués invités. Il s'y est de noter que la mise en place de la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine, le thème de la présente assemblée plénière, concorde avec l'ambition du forum de se transformer en parlement régional. En effet, les deux poursuivent des objectifs similaires, à savoir le développement socio-économique durable et inclusif, l'égalité entre les sexes, ainsi que la transformation structurelle des États membres. Qui plus est, il ne fait pas l'ombre d'aucun doute que la transformation du forum en un parlement régional donnera un argument de plus aux parlementaires de la SADC pour affirmer l'utilité de la domestication et de la mise en œuvre progressive de l'accord. Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République, honorables présidents et chers collègues, honorables parlementaires, distingués invités, pour conclure, je vous remercie pour votre participation à cette réunion qui peut servir de fil directeur pour guider la région de la SADC dans la mise en œuvre de cet accord dans les années à venir. J'adresse mes remerciements également au président de l'Assemblée nationale du Botswana, l'honorable Pandu Selemani, pour sa supervision avisée qui a permis de donner corps à cet événement. Je souhaite aussi rendre un hommage particulier aux citoyens de la République de Botswana pour leur attachement à la SADC. Sur cette note, je vous souhaite à toute une session agréable. Merci.
Merci, Honorable Celestin. I do apologize for having called you Madam earlier on, and thank you for sharing your words of wisdom as this plenary moves forward. Would now like to take another short break to watch a clip of another traditional dance from Botswana. This next clip is the Patsi dance, and it originates from the Bakwena tribe. Contrary to popular view, we have a lot of tribes in Botswana, and actually we have a lot of languages as well. But we do maintain one national language so that we remain coherent and are able to remain united as a nation. The Patsi dance is a Patisi, is a dance from the Bakwena tribe. My apologies. I keep saying Patsi, I don't know why. It's traditionally performed by both elderly men and young people, and it was performed during tribal activities, historically only for men and boys, and they danced whilst the women clapped and sang and ululated. It is said that the patisi came from a man trying to cycle, so he would tie his pants with a peg at the bottom so that he could cycle, and this then translated into the dance, but it has now changed in that they wear shorts and they do the dance as patisi. With that, I would like to invite my colleagues to please play the clip of the patisi dance. Thank you. Thank you. That was just a short break so that we could rejuvenate. With the Patisi dance from the Botswana tribe. It is now my singular honor and privilege to invite the Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana and host of the 49th Plenary Assembly, Honorable Pandu Tombola Chaha Skelemani, to the podium to firstly welcome the delegates of this assembly and thereafter to introduce our guest speaker and guest of honor. Honorable Speaker, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. Your Excellency, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Kabetsi-Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana, our guest of honor, Honorable Ferrovana Celestian, SADC PF Vice President, Honorable Professor Peter Kachivivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia and host for the SADC PF headquarters, Right Honorable Speaker Sipiri Mutanyani, Speaker of the National Assembly of Lesotho, Honorable Speakers, presiding officers of the National Assemblies and Parliaments, and heads of delegations, Honorable Jago Odago, member of East African Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Honorable Ngoga, Honorable Amari Belabago, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Musi Kafela, MP, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, and other ministers here present of the government of Botswana. Honorable Deputy Speaker Mabuse Pule, MP. Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Dumelan Sarasando. Honorable members of the Parliament of Botswana. Honorable members of SADC Parliamentary Forum. Kosi Puso Haboroni and Chairman of Tiadi Kosi. Honorable Magim Bakayi, Chairperson of the Association of Former Members of Parliament of Botswana. The Worship Father Mapongo, Mayor of Haboroni. Madam Boyemose Kuma, Secretary General of the SADC PF. Your Excellency Dr. Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Your Excellency Paulina Mbala Elago, Executive Secretary, Southern African Customs Union. Your Excellency Domingos Estavao Fernandez, High Commissioner of the Republic of Mozambique and Dean of Development Co. Your Excellencies, members of the Development Co. and representatives of regional international organizations. Madam Emma Piri-Keti, Acting Permanent Secretary to the President in the Government of Botswana. Madam Barbara Tapo, Clerk of the National Assembly of Botswana and Chairperson of the SADC Parliamentary Committee of Clerks, the Clerks and Secretary General of SADC National Parliaments, Permanent Secretaries in the Government of Botswana, distinguished cooperating partners, distinguished invited observers and guests, staff of the National Assembly of Botswana and of SADC National Parliaments, staff of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, and members of the Fourth Estate. Good morning. On behalf of the Parliament of Botswana, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 49th virtual plenary session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. We are very grateful for the presence of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Kabetsi-Masisi, who is our guest of honor. We are really honored and wish to especially thank him for being with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to also acknowledge the presence of all our speakers and esteemed guests from within the SADC region and beyond, who will be gracing this conference, and most importantly, to share their experiences and knowledge with us. The presence of all delegates here is an indication of our commitment to our SADC Parliamentary Forum. I can't express our gratitude enough that we have found it fitting to take time from a busy schedule to attend this event, which serves as a reminder to all of us how important this is. The 49th Plenary Assembly session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum comes at a time when the region, and indeed the whole world, is in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are all facing the great threat of third wave of the pandemic. That this is not your normal or usual conference arrangement goes without saying, thanks to COVID-19 pandemic. It is because of devastating effects of the pandemic that we have opted to hold a virtual conference. The people of Botswana would have loved to host all of you physically and accord you the opportunity to experience the warm hospitality of Botswana and enjoy our famous traditional cuisine and to visit some of the prime tourist areas, the attractions that include the Okavango Delta and the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parliament of Botswana is proud to be accorded the chance to once again host the Parliamentary Assembly of SADC-PF. As a founding member of SADC-PF, Botswana Parliament remains active in its participation in the affairs of SADC-PF and is committed to seeing the forum grow from strength to strength until it ultimately becomes a SADC regional parliament. At individual levels, over the years, Botswana MPs have served the forum in different leadership capacities with distinction. We also appreciate the fact that the clerk of the National Assembly of Botswana is the current chairperson of the Committee of Clerks and Secretary General of SADC-PF. At an institutional level, the Parliament of Botswana is committed to and appreciative of the work that SADC-PF has done over the years to build parliamentary capacity, cooperation and solidarity in SADC region to tackle various issues of regional concern, such as HIV/AIDS, democracy, good governance, trade, natural resources, climate change, crop pests and diseases, and the development of model laws. The Parliament of Botswana commits itself to continue supporting the regional integration agenda of SADC, and therefore wishes to see SADC-PF continue to grow and to make impact in the lives of citizens of SADC region. Ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I'm now delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, the President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Dr. Mokhweitsi Eric Gabet Masisi, who was first sworn in as the 5th President of the Republic of Botswana on the 1st of April 2018. His Excellency Dr. Masisi had previously served both the country and international organizations for many years in different capacities and with utmost distinction. That includes serving as a teacher, a curriculum specialist, a project officer with UNICEF, Botswana's representative for the Africa Social and Environmental Studies Program, a board member for Environmental Education Association of Southern Africa, and a stint with the Central Institute of Educational Technology, focusing on HIV prevention research. He has also served as a member of parliament, a cabinet minister, and vice president of the Republic of Botswana. His Excellency Dr. Masisi holds an MSc degree from the University of Florida, the State University of Florida, specializing in social studies, education, and instructional systems design. It is now my distinct honor to invite the President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Kawis Masisi, to address the SADC PF 49th Plenary Assembly Session and to officially open it. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am indebted to you. The Director of Ceremonies, the Acting SADC PF President, Dr. Fiorovanana Lovarnina Celestine, Member of Parliament from the Republic of Madagascar, the Honorable Mr. Pandu Tombola Charles Kelemani, Member of Parliament and Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana, and host for the 49th Plenary Assembly. Honorable Professor Peter Kativivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia, and host for the SADC PF headquarters. The Honorable Speaker Sipiri Mutanyani, Speaker of the National Assembly of Lesotho. Honorable Speakers and Presiding Officers of National Parliaments and Heads of Delegations. Honorable Dr. Jago Woda Jeremiah Odok, Member of the East African Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, the Right Honorable Martin Ngoga. Honorable Anne-Marie Bangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus. Honorable Musi Kafela, MP, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, and other honorable ministers in the government of Botswana. Honorable Mabuse Pule, Member of Parliament and Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana. Honorable Dumelan Salishando, Member of Parliament and Leader of the Opposition in the National Assembly of Botswana. Honorable Members of Parliament of Botswana, Honorable Members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Honorable Mogim Bakanye, Chairperson of the Association of Former Members of Parliament, Khosi Puso Gaborone, and Chairman of Nkwadi Khosi, His Worship, the Mayor of Gaborone, Father Mapongo, Ms. Boemo Sekoma, Secretary General of the SADC PF, His Excellency Dr. Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Her Excellency Paulina Mbala Lago, Executive Secretary, Southern Africa Customs Union, Your Excellencies, Heads of Missions and diplomats present, the Acting Permanent Secretary to the President, Ms. Emma Pelui Tlitsi, the Clerk of the National Assembly of Botswana, Ms. Barbara Ditapo, and other senior officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate, a very good morning from Gaborone. Please receive my fraternal and warmest greetings from the capital city of Botswana. The Republic of Botswana is delighted to host all of you on the occasion of the 49th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. The Plenary Assembly is being held in an unconventional manner, as the Speaker of Botswana said, virtually, as you all know, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Indeed, the COVID-19 pandemic has struck hard all nations of the world, and the SADC region has not been spared from the global health crisis and economic recession. However, I am consoled and comforted by the fact that we have never allowed temporary circumstances to define the future of our region. Our common set of values that always bind us together, unity, peace, development, remain the foundation of our success and the pillar of our strength, even in the darkest of our time. And I have confidence that collectively we will emerge stronger and more unified in the aftermath of COVID-19. Honorable speakers, members and distinguished guests, the selection of the 49th Parliamentary Forum theme, leveraging the AFCTA for post-COVID economic recovery in Southern Africa, the role of SADC Parliamentary Forum and national parliaments is even more comforting as it demonstrates our conviction to overcome the negative effects of COVID-19. This pandemic has sparked a paradigm shift in the way we have been doing business. It demands that we foster regional cooperation that will revive tourism, mining, and other sectors of the economy, which will essentially contribute to economic recovery of our countries. The role of parliamentarians has been key in ensuring effective responses to COVID-19. You have been critical in our engagement with communities, and your sound advice to governments provided the best possible measures to put in place in the fight against COVID-19. Your role will even be more critical during the rebuilding of national economies. And I urge you, honorable members, to move beyond political boundaries and put our nations, our region, and our people first for a quick economic recovery to take effect. Speakers, honorable members, the entry into force of the African Continental Free Trade Area on the 1st of January 2021 is the most significant milestone in Africa's integration agenda, covering a market of close to 1.27 billion people and a combined gross domestic product of over 2.5 trillion US dollars. It therefore offers a golden opportunity with potential to open new horizons for regional economic cooperation in Africa. To this end, there should be no reason why SADC and Africa as a whole cannot be major players that partake in global GDP at par with other regions of the world. The AFCTA is one of the key drivers that can position Africa as an economic powerhouse. I note, however, that AFCTA cannot be effective without domestication at the national level. This is one area that falls within the purview of national parliaments. And I believe that your deliberations in the next few days will propose a way forward with respect to the issue of domestication and implementation of the AFCTA at both national and regional levels. As the discussions are taking place within the first 6 months of coming into force of the trade agreement, it is important to highlight the importance of communication between member states. Let me express the hope that the continuous negotiations within the framework of the AFCTA will move beyond trade in goods and services and take into consideration other issues such as intellectual property rights, investment, and competition policy. These issues are directly connected to trade flows, and they need to be further ironed out to ensure that the free trade area operates without hindrances. Honorable members and distinguished participants, I wish to end my remarks by encouraging lively discussions on matters of importance to the SADC region with concrete proposals that will enable us to get our countries back on track post-COVID-19. I wish you a productive session, and it is now my pleasure to formally declare the 49th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum open. I thank you. I thank you. Apulaini.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to address this assembly. Honorable members, distinguished guests, can we let us express our gratitude to His Excellency by another round? I didn't feel the the enthusiasm for having heard such a statement that should lead us into our next steps in terms of our program for today and for the next 2 days. I think it sets the stage in terms of how we're going to address the theme, which is leveraging the AfCFTA for post-COVID economic recovery in Southern Africa, the role of SADC Parliamentary Forum and national parliaments. I think we've heard a lot today about how we need to formalize this parliamentary assembly, and I believe that in our discussions, we will be able to formulate how we move forward and how we improve on regional integration. Taking on from that, I would like to now request that we watch a short video which talks to issues of regional integration. I do believe I mentioned it earlier, and this is a little clip on the Kazungula Bridge project. The Kazungula Bridge project is a road and rail bridge over the Zambezi River between the countries of Zambia and Botswana at Kazungula, as mentioned. The bridge was opened for traffic on the 10th of May, 2021, this year. In August 2007, the governments of Zambia and Botswana announced a deal to construct a bridge to replace the existing ferry. The objective of the bridge was really to improve the efficiency of transit traffic through Kazungula border to facilitate and increase trade activities, and just global competitiveness in general for Botswana and Zambia, and improved regional connectivity of the North-South carrier, and also to contribute to economic regional integration within the SADC region. I believe that the topic for today is very, it falls well in place with the bridge, and that I believe that we will appreciate the beauty. It is a wonder. It's not only amazing in terms of what it will achieve for us economically and regionally in terms of integration, but it's for me, I believe it's a work of art, and it will be lovely for you to see and appreciate what the two countries have been able to achieve. It's taken a long time, but we've arrived, and in May it was opened. Thank you.
The Kazungula Bridge project is a bilateral venture between the governments of Botswana and Zambia. The two countries signed an agreement to sponsor the construction and operation of the bridge infrastructure at Kazungula in March 2012, and the construction of the bridge over the mighty Zambezi River commenced in December 2014. The project consists of 3 packages. Package 1 is the 923-meter long, 18.5-meter wide, cable-stayed road and rail bridge, including the approach ramps. The bridge is designed as an extra-dosed road-rail bridge to accommodate a future railway line which will link Mosetse Kazungula in Botswana to Kazungula Livingston in Zambia.
Our role on the project as the technical team, we were making sure that the project is done to its objectives and specifications on the ground. With all these structures, the most difficult part was agreeing or involving the human aspect. We know people have got different opinions, they've got different ways of conducting their business, but for them to converge, it needs a concerted effort by both member states. But where we are now, we are happy that we have managed, and now it's only left for the border agencies to play their part, so that the member states or the citizens and the region could enjoy the benefits of the structure that we have constructed.
We can highlight that we have seen a very good working relationship between the two countries. As the consultant, we're extremely proud of this project. From the product behind us, also obviously not only the bridge but also the border facilities that goes with the project.
Once operational, the bridge and its associated works will facilitate the efficiency of trade and boost the regional economy as a vital road link of the North-South corridor. The North-South corridor is a major trade route within SADC, and it benefits such countries as Botswana, Zambia, Tanzania, Malawi, Zimbabwe, DRC, South Africa, Namibia, and Mozambique, making this project an important aid for trade between the countries.
we have been using the ferry, which is the pontoon. So in those pontoons, we have been experiencing very, very, very long queues, both sides from Zambia and Botswana side. We are expecting that within this new development, we are going to have a smooth movement.
The project is expected to significantly reduce transit time for freight and passengers, as well as improve the water management operations arising from the one-stop water facilities.
The pontoon, it was so hectic, and we had too many challenges over this.
We are so excited as truck drivers for the opening of the bridge. I would like to thank both governments, the Zambian government and the Botswana government, for coming up with such a very successful project.
The magnificent infrastructure will facilitate quick access to international markets through connectivity with major seaports, as well as contribute to maximizing the operational efficiency of the corridor, enhancing regional economic integration. The Kazungula Bridge is therefore a vital transport infrastructure on the NSC corridor that facilitates easy access for intra- and inter-regional trade.
As the Botswana Investment and Trade Center, we are very delighted to witness the opening of the Kazungula Bridge, a major infrastructure project delivered in partnership between the Republic of Botswana and the Republic of Zambia. We believe this project is really a regional flagship and goes far to demonstrate how much countries can get to achieve if we collaborate on these common developments in the region.
The people of the two countries would enjoy the site and also benefit immensely, as the bridge will ease movement between the two countries.
Your Excellency, please allow me to introduce the dignitaries you are hosting at this auspicious occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have in our midst President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who is also the chairperson of the African Union, Mr. Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo. President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Edison Dambuzo Mnangagwa. The co-host of this official opening ceremony, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Mozambique and Chairperson of the Southern African Development Community, Mr. Felipe Jacinto Nyusi. Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. The Acting Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Senator Temba N. Masuku.
The magnificent Kazungula Bridge project is a work of art. It is a culmination of the hard work put in by the two countries. Botswana, our pride, your destination. Zambia, one nation.
I think this deserves a round of applause. It's really an amazing project and a shining or a diamond in these dire times of COVID. I think it was something that we needed in 2021 and moving forward. We talk regional integration. We saw it, trade facilitation with the one-stop border. It's going to be an amazing future, I think, for the two countries and the other countries that were mentioned. I think we heard a whole number of countries that were mentioned that are actually benefiting from the Kazungula Bridge. Your Excellencies, President Masisi, honorable speakers, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now call on the Speaker of the National Assembly of Lesotho and host for the 50th Plenary Assembly. I think we heard earlier on that next year, the next session will be celebrating the 50th Assembly. This will be held in Lesotho. Honorable Sipiri Motanyani, to wrap up this morning's proceedings with a vote of thanks. Honorable Motanyani, please, the floor is yours. Thank you. Or should I say Tate Motanyani? Ke le fa the floor. I get Sesotho. Please, sir, you have the floor.
Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Kiabetsi Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana and guest of honor, Honorable Christoph Mboso Ngodia Wanga, SADC PF President and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Honorable Pandu Tombola Chaha Skelemani, MP, host for the 49th Plenary Assembly and Speaker of the National Assembly of Botswana, Honorable Professor Peter Gajavivi, host of the SADC PF headquarters and Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia, Honorable Speakers and presiding officers of national parliaments and the heads of delegations, Honorable Martin Goga, Speaker of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, Honorable Anne-Marie Milambangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Musi Khafela, MP, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry in the government of Botswana, Honorable members of the Parliament of Botswana, Honorable members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Ms. Buemo Sokhoma, Secretary General of the SADC PF, Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tex, SADC Executive Secretary, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and representative of the regional international organization, Ms. Emma Biluitese, Acting Permanent Secretary to the President in the government of Botswana, Ms. Barbara Ditapo, Chairperson of the Committee of Clerks and Clerk of the National Assembly of Botswana, Clerks and Secretaries General of SADC National Parliaments, Permanent Secretaries in the government of Botswana, distinguished cooperating partners, distinguished invited observer and guests, members of the media, guest of honor, I feel deeply humbled by being afforded this opportunity to give the vote of thanks as we conclude the opening of the this 49th plenary session. On behalf of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, I wish to thank our guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana, for graciously welcoming us, though virtually, to his country and officially opening this plenary session. Your Excellency, your emphasis on the importance of the implementation of SADC regional integration agenda being a prerequisite for the realization of the African continent free trade area serves as a clarion call for parliamentarians to vigorously pursue the unity and equality in the region. As the SADC Parliamentary Forum, we have been seized with this integration agenda, and what has been top of our efforts is the transformation of this forum into a regional parliament. You will agree with me, with us that it is uncharacteristic for this region to be the only one in the continent that doesn't have a fully constituted regional parliament. Our region has produced numerous Pan-Africanists who went through much difficulty to realize the freedoms and democracy that we now all enjoy. Through those difficulties, great camaraderie and brotherhoods were formed, which resulted in us as the SADC region becoming a tightly knit family of post-colonial states. Our guest of honor and speakers, I believe it is now our turn as this generation of leaders to take the efforts of those who came before us to their logical conclusion of a fully integrated region. Our collective efforts and collaborations in dealing with the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic are a true testimony to the old adage that unity is strength. We stood united and worked together to minimize the devastating impact the disease could have had in our respective countries. But we are not done yet. Guests of honor and speakers, our collective past always brought us together in defense of each other's democracies and human rights. However, our new challenge now, and one that His Excellency, our guest of honor, has pointed out poignantly in his opening address, is how we come together now to rebuild our lives and the lives of the people of the region post this pandemic. The pandemic has indeed sparked a paradigm shift in the way we must do things going forward. Guest of honor, judging by the role we collectively played as parliaments and parliamentarians in ensuring the effective responses to COVID-19, it has now become crystal clear that parliaments are a central component in improving the quality of services delivered to the residents of the region. As representatives of the people of the region, parliamentarians have a more critical role to play during this building phase of the national economies. Certainly, a well-established SADC parliament that would serve as a representative body for the SADC citizenry still remains unrealized. As the SADC PF president indicated, the non-legislative proposal that we are currently putting forward is aimed at consolidating the linkages with other SADC regions to assist in identifying the SADC issues for parliamentary deliberation and the making of resolutions that will be non-binding in nature, but persuasive to the SADC Council and Summit. The main aim to heighten parliamentary democracy in the region and to ensure that our voices as members of parliament are heard. Your Excellency, it will be insincere of me not to acknowledge your government's contribution towards the realization of integrated SADC vision, specifically your bilateral engagements with various leaders in the region and contributions that various SADC organs does not go unnoticed. We remain appreciative of your leadership and support in efforts towards the realization of SADC Parliament. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, let me take this opportunity to thank and appreciate the magnificent work of Honorable Speaker Skelemani and the National Assembly of Botswana for the splendid and chivalrous manner in which they have hosted the 49th Plenary Assembly virtual session. Despite being physically unable to travel to Botswana for the session, your chivalry and radiated through these virtual networks that we are connected through. Guest of honor, distinguished guests, to all the speakers, presiding officers, and delegations of our national parliaments who participated in this plenary, I wish to thank you all for gracing us with your presence, your diligence, and continued commitment to the business of the Parliamentary Forum remains our beacon of hope for greater things that are yet to come. Guest of honor, distinguished guests, I would like to express our appreciation to our Secretary General, Ms. Boemos Poma, and the ever hard-working members of the Secretariat for once again pulling off seamless plenary assembly session. Guests of honor, distinguished guests, in closing and as your host for the upcoming 50th plenary assembly, let me take this opportunity to invite you to the Kingdom in the Sky in December. We are already looking forward to welcoming you to what promises to be a spectacular celebration of milestone in the lifespan of this parliamentary body. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I do think Botswana looks forward to visiting our sister country and experiencing the mountains. We are a very flat country, so we do look forward to enjoying different scenery once in a while. Honorable speakers, members, ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the end of our morning session. We just have 2 agenda items, and then we will then be breaking for lunch to return at 1400 hours or 1300 hours Kinshasa time, so that we proceed with the symposium as shown in our program. However, before we conclude, I'd like to request that we all rise for the singing of the AU and SADC anthems, which will then be followed by the national anthem of the Republic of Botswana. I thank you for your audience.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sky and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Sonic, sonic, dawn of uncertainty. Sonic, sonic, dawn of the better future, and hope for regional and universal integration towards unity and harmony. Cradle of humanity, cradle of our ancestors. Let us praise with joy the realization of our hopes and raise the banner of solidarity. Sonic, 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 dawn of uncertainty.
Thank you, members, honorable members, Speaker. I think we may now, this brings us to the end of the day, the morning session, and we will be here, as mentioned, at 2 o'clock. Please try and be logged in 15 minutes before the session starts. So that will be 1:45 for Botswana time and 1:45 for Kinshasa time. Thank you. Enjoy.